There's a number of resources that have been introduced to you, you may have heard about, but you may not know how to use. The first thing that we'd like to show you is standard score, which is also often referred to as WebGrader. If you go to the School District of Waukesha website, www.waukesha.k12.wi.us, right here there is parent information, and you can go down to standard score login, and that will bring you to this page right over here where you will enter your login information. If you do not have that, teachers can give that information to your students, or your students can go down to the main office and access that information as well. After you log in, a page very similar to this one will show up for you. It's pretty straightforward and pretty simple. Over here on the left-hand side, it shows the classes, the teacher's name, and their overall grade. But it doesn't stop there. If you go to this column over here, you can look at detailed summaries where it will talk about every single assignment that your student has, whether or not they turned that in, what type of grade they got on that, and if there's any unique comments. Another wonderful thing you can look at is how your students are doing on different learning targets. This is a really great way to figure out what your students' strong points are and what things they may be struggling on. So take a look at these to see what you can help your student with at home. The last thing that we'd like to share with you is the opportunity to communicate with us from home, and you can do that with web notes. Many of us send out web notes as a means to communicate versus telephone, because often it's very difficult to get in contact with parents. And if you ever have questions for us, sending us a web note will automatically forward to our school email, and we will get back to you as soon as possible.
Another resource that the School District of Waukesha, and specifically here at North, has been kind of moving in this direction of utilizing it more frequently is the site Blackboard. Blackboard, the website for this is bb9.waukesha.k12.wi.us. And with this, your student has access to each of the different courses that we have here at school, and each teacher does have a course, a Blackboard site developed.
Their initial homepage might look something like this. Over here they're going to have their classes, any special announcements that they might have, a calendar, and they'll go and they'll find the class that they are interested in looking into. Click on that, and over here your teacher might have a specific set of things where they've broken down the units or different lessons within that unit to access specific information. So if I go to Unit 1 here, there's an opportunity for teachers to do self-assessments of students. This might be used as practice. It might also be used for grades. Students can go in here, and it gives them sample test questions, or, like I said, maybe even an actual formative or summative assessment at home, where students can enter information in, and when they submit that answer, it can give them instant feedback, which is a really powerful tool.
Blackboard also has many other capabilities associated with it, and it's a great resource for students based on the kinds of activities that the teacher has inputted onto that particular Blackboard site. For example, let me get into mine. With my physics kids, I have listed a daily blogs or daily announcements that are made for the students. So if a student misses a day, this is a great location and a great place for the students to go to make sure that they don't miss a beat, that they're able to come in immediately on the day of, or the day that they return, and they have all the information they needed from that day. So each day I have blogged on here what we did in class, and you can also see that the notes are listed. So it's a great resource that many teachers are using to also provide any handouts, any notes, etc. that the students may need for that particular unit. So it's a great resource for students all the time, and a great place for our parents to also check out. I believe that most of our parents do have a parent login that is available that will allow you to see and access our Blackboard sites, so that you too can keep up on the information and the learning that's occurring in our classrooms.
Other things that you might be able to access is Gmail, and Gmail is Gmail is, as you know, an opportunity for emails, but it doesn't stop there. There's many more things that we can do with that, and we'll talk about that in a second. But why is Gmail good for emails? Well, it has almost unlimited space, and we can share large files back and forth. It's also very easy to organize those files and mark them as important and save them and so on. But again, there's many more powerful things that you can do with Gmail. So we're going to talk about Google Drive, but there's other opportunities like Google Calendar, making websites. All of those things are something that your student might be doing in other classes.
One of the cool things we talked about in one of our other the previous video was the idea of using Google Docs or Google Drive. Google Drive is not only accessible on the internet, it also is an app that can be found on iPads. So it's essentially a place where we can go over, create documents, share them, and have them accessible no matter what computer we are using. One of the first pieces you can do is you can create. And if you go and click on the Create button when you're in Google Drive, you can see you can create a document. It's like Word, essentially. You can go and click on a document. You can make a presentation, which is like PowerPoint. You can make a spreadsheet, which is like Excel. And when you click on each of these, you're able to go through and enter in data just like you normally would. And when you do this, then you can go over and create a document. You can change the name. So we can call this a test document for the parent-teacher-student seminar. And with that, then I'm able to go through and type in just like I normally would in Word. Now, the power of Google Drive comes when you're able to share it. And the way you share is go over here to the right upper right-hand corner. You can click on the share button. As you can see right now, currently I'm the only person that has access to this document. But if I want to go and allow for Mr. Hill to have access to it, I can go in and enter his name in the bottom portion. And you can actually click in any email address. It doesn't have to be a Gmail address. So any email address will then allow you to have access or give that other person access to that particular document. And as you can see, you can change whether or not they can edit it or if they can just view it. If I click and share, this individual now will have a notification sent to their email that they now have access to this particular document. Now with that, he will, Mr. Hill will then be able to go through and enter in that data too and enter in information and create a really collaborative opportunity for me to be able to enter in information, and then he can edit it, add to it, make suggestions, and it really allows for that interactive piece and collaborative piece that we've never been able to have before this kind of technology was available. In addition, you can see over here on the comment side, this is what you can do as a little bit of a chat dialogue where I can go in and chat with Mr. Hill, and we can go back and forth and share ideas as part of a collaborative document. So with that, I can enter in, what do you think about the title? And Mr. Hill will be able to go and get that information. He can comment back. We can share ideas. And it really does allow for that kind of collaborative piece, even if you're not in the same environment.
Hopefully this has taken away some of the stress that you might have with all the new technologies that your students are working with. Hopefully that you've learned something and you see the power in this. And I hope that you've enjoyed this. And we will see what you've got out of it and let you share your thoughts here in a second.